The Holy Family's here, Mary and Joe. Oh, well, there's plenty of room on the couch, on the casting couch.
I brought you a present from, another, my favorite polka band. I'm sorry, you're in one. I forgot.
The Shenandoah All-Stars. All right, well, I was just talking with the main guy the other day. But thank you, sir.
Well,
Or Dziękuję, I should say. Oh, my goodness.
There you go.
Boy, you found a real winner, let me tell you. I don't know what they did to coerce you to have me on.
You didn't go live.
I think you did.
Did you go live?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're live.
You did. You are.
The red, it went from green to red.
Okay, there we
apparently.
go. Now we go. Just so you know, that's the camera. It's just so you know the camera angle.
Oh, perfect, okay. Man, look at these. You like my legs?
I thought you were in microphone.
I told them about it, Do you usually get a good audience each time?
Yeah. All right, we'll play one more song and then we'll get started.
As I said earlier, there's plenty of room on the desk.
Oh, yes. Notice it was not the blender, but
It's like the reward tent.
Yes.
The comment, the viewing.
they're all timed out.
Well, if it's anything like the reward interior of the viewing, don't worry, the stains come out very nicely. Now, these stains are it's coming up on it, yeah. I just did 232,000. She is looking at me like I am an alien, but that's okay.
What kind of car is it?
It's a 90 Sabre.
Okay. I have a Buick too.
Oh, really? What kind?
It's a 2019.
No, this is when you watch those commercials and the old grannies say, "That's not it." That's the kind of Well, I had to.
Your rich grandparents had to sit down with the town car, and you all
They were steel workers. They could only afford up to Oldsmobile Buick. So.
I love it.
I don't want to I know whatever else I'm doing. And you pop that car, I can take it into a mechanic.
All right, everybody, welcome to Colossal Community Podcast. I am your host, Keith, and I'm with my co-host, Seriously.
What's up?
And we are live here at the Hoffer Mill in Weissport, PA, home of the Gorge Eatery, Bronson E-Bikes, Hug in the Mug Cafe, and Simple Home, PA. decor store. So it's all in this wonderful building in here.
It's a beautiful building. I got married in this building.
Yeah. So if you want to book an event, just contact the Hoffer Mill and they'll get you hooked up with a great event menu. And we actually are in the event room, so it's a great place. Tonight, we are talking about fans in Polka land.
Yeah. The fan club.
What?
Oh, now it's yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fan club.
Fan club.
The fan club.
And the Polka fan club, right?
Right?
All sorts of stuff.
Fan club,
Ooh.
the fan club.
And
There we go.
so good you have to say it twice.
Yeah.
And tonight, we are giving away our bonfire s'mores packet. We did have 10 people enter with pictures. I'll show you some pictures now. Here's one, Leanne, of a dog hanging out in the pool.
That's the winner.
That's the winner.
Dogs.
So there's one there hanging out in the pool
Oh
there.
my guy.
And then we have some great deck pictures as well. Coming up here, there's one. There's another fire coming up here. And then this one's pretty cool, dragonfly fire ring.
That's interesting.
So that's some of the entries. We'll post all the pictures later tonight. Thank you all who entered. And we'll spin the wheel of faith, I guess you can call it.
Wheel of Fate.
So we'll do that later in the show. But tonight, our guest is, you probably know him from Music Fest and all over, Mr. Robbie Lawrence.
How you doing?
Welcome.
No.
So you are a part of.
Oh, wow. We didn't even have to press a button to make it.
Yeah, we have a live audience.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So you are part of a antique fan group, right?
Correct. Now, many people, well, let's clarify one thing out of the get-go here.
Okay.
A lot of people, when they hear that I collect fans, they think paper fans.
Right.
Electric fans, like desk fans, box fans, window fans, ceiling fans, all that kind of stuff, pedestal fans, you name it. And normally when we have weeks like what we just had, I'm normally the most famous person wherever I'm either working or on the block because, Robbie, guess what? We need a fan from you. We need the air conditioner just broke, so we need something like that. But yes, I have had, as long as I can remember, literally as long as I can remember, a fascination with spinning objects. First it started off with like pinwheels, then it kind of just gradually morphed into like garden, like, you know those garden spinners that you would see, like, and then it went into fans. And I remember like 3 years old, 4 years old, I still go to this church, St. Anne's in Bethlehem. They had these, and they still do today, to this day, 6 ceiling fans that I did not even know what the models were. I was like, all my life up until like, middle school, I was trying to figure out what these models of fans were, and I finally found out through a club called VintageCeilingFans.com, and it turns out that it was something called Emerson heat fans. They were made in the late 70s by Emerson Electric. And but I found out through this website that was put together by a guy that collected fans. And up until this time, like around 2007, 2008, I had no idea that there were other people that were out there that also had a fascination with fans. And once that got the ball rolling, I started collecting. And it's just like I scour all the antique stores, flea markets, yard sales. I don't try to do eBay because of the shipping, and it's like if you're buying something that's like a few $100s, who knows what's going to happen. So like all that in-person stuff, I'm always there. And we are so blessed to be living in an area like Eastern Pennsylvania because first of all, it's a seasonal area, so you're going to find a lot of that stuff still intact and in good shape. Whereas if you go down south, there's lots of quantity, but not so much in terms of quality. A Also, you got GE was up in Schenectady, New York, and you've got Westinghouse out in Pittsburgh, and all these other great big electrical companies that existed within a 2-hour radius of us. And that just goes to show how many rare items are also around this area. So, yes, I know it's bizarre, but it's funny because, you know, whenever I bring it up, people say, you collect what? And then once they see what it is that I am interested in, they're like, oh my God, I need one now. They want me to find one for them sometimes. Or they want to start collecting too, and, you know, it just takes it from there. So, what can I say?
Nice. And you did bring some things with you. You want to share?
I did. Do you want me to show you now?
Sure.
All right, I guess I might as well go over and get them. So I actually, believe it or not, let's see, where was I? Oh, so this first one I found off of Craigslist for $10, literally this past week. And it's called a Westinghouse Riviera. And as you can see, this was during like the space race type of time period. A lot of companies were trying to get into that like aerodynamic look and design. And one great thing about these is that they have these air injector rings, which actually, if any of you out there have any modern day Vornado fans, it's still based off of that same principle. And this was supposed to be in direct competition with those old Vornado fans at the time. And I'll tell you what, if we turn this on, I mean, I don't know if you want to or not, but the pitch of the blades combined with the fact that like just as much air as possible sucks through these rings, you don't even need air conditioning in a small room. This will do it. And I paid $10 for it. It's worth about maybe in good condition without these, like this one for example, no cracks, all 4 rubber feet are present. You could get anywhere between $75 to $150 depending on the buyer. And I paid $10 for it.
Yeah, because people think they're just junk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what? It's funny. There's an auction hall that's somewhere around here, an antique shop. It's in Lehighton. It's
Yeah,
like on the-
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I was there maybe a few months ago. I forgot to tell them to tune in, by the way, which would have been great. But I'll give them the link afterwards. And we got to talking because everywhere I go, I always ask, do you have any fans? And usually like they'll say, oh yeah, I've got maybe like an extra box fan or a desk fan that's about to come out, you know, and they'll bring it out. Well, anyway, I got into this big long conversation with the guy over here in Lehighton that has the antique shop, and we got to talking about, you know, all different types of fans that I collect, more than just even these. And I'll show another example in just a little bit. But he was like, oh man, you know what? We do estate cleanouts and we throw that stuff away all the time. And I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy. You know, that's the other thing too. Like right now I'm house hunting and I'm trying to find a 70s time capsule house. Everybody, the first thing they do is rip all that stuff out and put in all this, you know, white, gray, black stuff. I'm like, I cannot wait until everybody says, oh, but it looks so clean, Robbie. I'm like, but it looks like, I feel like I'm sitting in a hospital room, you know? It's crazy. This stuff has character. The stuff that's around today, first of all, it wasn't made to last, and it's just, it's blah. I don't get it, you know? But somehow people love it. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Who knows? I'm looking at you out there. But anyway, so yes, this was one example. And then I'm going to bring over an example of a ceiling fan that I used to. This is actually British made. It was made by a company called Relight in the late 70s, early 80s. And this model is called the Airmaster Mark 7. And there's 3 blades that go with it. And one thing that really attracts me to this one in particular is that the motor housing itself is blue, which is very interesting because you don't see that on many ceiling fans. And this was made for more commercial and industrial applications. I actually picked this up on this past Saturday. So what's funny is like I will type in on things like Marketplace, church, like the word church or the word like theater or library or something along those lines, because a lot of times you will have sellers that will sell things like church pews or theater seats or things like that, and they will pan out and they will show the entire area that these objects are located in. And a lot of times I will see, like in the small pixelated corner, I will see like valuable ceiling fans like this. I picked this up out of a Mennonite church in Ephrata in Lancaster County, and actually I picked up 2 of these. There's another one in the car, and they just said, we'll just give them to you because we were going to throw them away again. So now I will also segue into this. This Saturday, I am actually going to be hosting a fan collectors convention. Things like that actually exist. It is going to be held at the Alliance Fire Company down in Northampton. Doors open at 8 a.m., and I will be starting an auction around 12 noon when we start to eat lunch. Already, I can tell you at this fan convention, somebody is coming in from Ohio for this, and they said, I'll do $80 for the pair. So already, I picked these up for free, both of these things for free, and I just made $80.
Nice.
So there you go. There is worth to a lot of this stuff. I'm going to tell you a very quick story as well. Some people ask me, what was the most valuable fan? I have seen it. It actually was at the National Convention in Indianapolis, Indiana. This was back in 2019. It was a 1910, it's called a Bailey Lee. It's a pedestal fan. Up until that point, people thought that they only existed in patent drawings. It sold for $75,000. Some people argue that there was another one that was in existence, and that one sold for $125,000. I need to see that to be sure, but I can tell you right now that there is a guy who will remain nameless, but he appeared on the American Pickers episode. I'm sure many of you have seen it. That's actually the other thing too. When I mentioned about I collect fans, the next thing that they say is, "Oh, did you see that episode where they went to the guy's house in Wisconsin?" I said, "I've been to the guy's house in Wisconsin, and he has 2 properties in Wisconsin and Virginia, and he's actually coming to my fan meet, believe it or not." At any rate, he will remain nameless. But at any rate, this was about 2 years ago. He texts me and says, "Hey Robbie, do you mind picking up a fan for me that I won in an auction in New York?" I said, "Okay, sure." He said, "I'll give you a very nice fan in exchange for going," which this fan I value at about $1,000. And I'm like, "Oh, all right, sure." So I head on out there. It was about an hour and a half drive to York from where I'm at. And I looked at the bill, and well, first of all, even before I did that, I pull up to the thing, and the auctioneer's like, "Oh, are you the guy that's supposed to come for the fan?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like, he seemed like how you folks looked at me when I was coming through the door here, basically. So he's like, "Oh, well, I'll tell you what, if I got something for you." So he takes me to the fan, and turns out, this fan in particular, it was like rusty and crusty, but it was made during the days of when Tesla and Edison were still battling it out between alternating and direct current as to like what would be the best option to use in everyday settings. And this fan was for direct current. We all use alternating current today. So up until about 1940-ish or so, direct current existed, and then after that, people just basically threw all that stuff out. So when you see a fan or any other appliance that's DC powered, that's worth a ton of money. So that one already, as it is, made it worth a lot of money. But again, this was a model, it's called a Westinghouse pancake. And it's the only one known to exist. And I looked at the bill. He paid 50 grand for it. So it was in my possession for about 3 months until he was able to come down from Wisconsin and take it for himself. So I was like, oh my goodness, you better have this thing insured because I don't know what's going to happen to this. I'm like sweating bullets here inadvertently. But but it was a very interesting experience, and I'm just glad to have seen something like that in person,
Right.
and to know that it was relatively local to us is just fascinating. So it was from the year 1898. So anyway, yeah. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Learning a lot about fans tonight.
Yeah.
Certainly.
So I have a question. Your little expedition that you're hosting to different places to look at notable fans,
Yes.
right? Is it a secret where you're going, those places? Or
I see. So you're talking about the days leading up to Saturday.
right.
So I have to explain this. If you look at I don't know if did I send you the flyer?
Yeah, we got it right here.
We got the flyer.
Oh, good. It's right in front. Oh, they come prepared. They did their homework, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
You gotta love
that's
them.
all Keith.
Now listen. So,
First of all, can
This-
you just tell us what it's called, because I love it.
oh yes, it's called Blow Me Away 2024. Now, the reason why it's called Blow Me Away is because this year it's going to be twice as fun because we are inviting the Air Conditioner Collectors Club to join us. And that is an entirely different community, but a lot of the same people kind of like intertwine between the fan club and the AC club. And like there's a friend of mine that lives down in North Carolina who's also equally interested in ACs. And he's like, do I have to pick one? And I'm like, well, no, because the guy that's in charge of the AC club lives in Pottsville. So we can have fans the one day and ACs the next day. We'll just fuse everything together. So, but we're making this a big 4-day long extravaganza of sorts. The first 2 days, you can choose to go to my friend Tim Marks's workshop. Now, Tim lives off of Airport Road in Northampton. He is an absolutely, he is a genius in his own right, and I do not exaggerate when I say that. He has a master's in mechanical engineering from Lehigh. It's enough to have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, but he has a master's in mechanical engineering. He's in his early 40s, and he already sold off his first business, which was Ecotech Marine. And, he is just an amazing, amazing guy. What he did when he was at Ecotech was he made the motors for the saltwater aquariums. That's basically what he did. And that combined with, so his ex-wife, this was like back in 2012-ish, 2013, she gave him a fan as a present because at the time, he was big into restoration and he used to restore motorcycles. And sure enough, that was it. That was what drew him in. So when you go to his house, you can see his fan collection. It is beautiful. It is absolutely amazing. It is some of the rarest fans you will ever find in the country. He has tons of them. And then downstairs, he is gracious enough to let us use his fan workshop. He made his own lathe. He has all of this equipment, sandblasting, the things that you can use for blade balancing, because of course when things vibrate it's just very annoying. So he has a stroboscope for that. He has all sorts of supplies and what have you. And oh my goodness, I can go on and on. But that's going to take place. If you look, the address is posted on there. I don't know if you want to show that up on the screen or not. But that's going to take place starting around 9 o'clock-ish Thursday and Friday. If you don't have a fan that you want to work on, what I'm going to be doing at the same time is there are a bunch of ceiling fan guys that are coming as well. And this area, like I was saying earlier, a lot of the areas around here are still in like 70s, 80s time capsule condition, which is something that many of us absolutely love in the club. So I compiled a list of places in the Lehigh Valley area that I know of that still have like ceiling fans that are in use that I know so many of those people would love to get a hold of and see. And like, for example, there's like 2 or 3 laundromats, for example. So we're gonna plan to stop at like these laundromats, go out, take pictures, see if we could find the controls, play around with the controls, look at the fans, that kind of thing, then move on to the next thing, basically. There's also down in Bethlehem on Stefco Boulevard, it's like the last Burger King that has not been remodeled since the late 80s. It still has the solarium, it still has the ceiling fans that are in there, it still has like the nice wooden flooring and all that. We're gonna go there for lunch because I know a lot of people would love to see that Burger King in its time capsule condition. If anybody out here knows the Snydersville Diner and also Daisy out in Wind Gap. Daisy out in Wind Gap has 2 plastic Emerson designer ceiling fans from 1978. You know, many people would love to see those. And the Snydersville Diner has 2 polished brass Hunter Originals in the main dining area. So I know a lot of people would love to go see those. So that's where we're going to have dinner Thursday and Friday. So yes.
See, I was anticipating you telling me you're going to these like cathedrals or something, and you're like, well, we're going to some laundromats.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
I was not ready for that.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I could take them to churches, but I don't know how many of them are open on like a Thursday and Friday.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
So, but if there are any pastors out there that know they have ceiling fans and maybe they have an older area, hit me up because we'd love to go there.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
They've become a solid member of the community.
How am I doing so far?
Amazing. You've made our job a sit.
Friendly staff, lunch, specials, and fun food. It's Cindy's Deli, located next to Pfeiffer's Ice Stand in Franklin Township. A wide selection of sandwiches and wraps, which are prepared fresh daily. Cindy's Deli.
I'm so intrigued. I'm not even focused on my itching.
Yeah.
Oh yes, he's in the polka world. So we also have to talk about polka. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now we are at the halfway point, kind of sort of. So I'm asking you still talk. If you still want to talk about blowers, or if you want to keep moving on.
Yeah, you get the cigarette with the holder.
Yes.
Who doesn't want to be gambling? Think about it. Get yourself a nice.
I'll tell you.
I was expecting a Richard Dawson outfit.
Ah. Well, I have a polka shirt.
That I had one similar to that.
Yes. Well, I also am into vacuum tubes too. I do a lot of stuff with vacuum cleaners.
I was gonna say blowing and sucking. I was gonna ask you.
I go both ways.
Yeah.
You don't get this kind of entertainment at Lehigh.
Find them online.
So you should have the following weekend. You should have one that's called This Sucks.
Suck me off. No.
Yeah. Blow me away and suck me off.
All right, welcome back to Colossal Community Podcast. We are talking about fans, and Leanne, I don't know about you. I don't know if I can go to a place without looking at the fans now.
I'm interested to see these laundromats, to be honest.
Yeah. All right.
Bethel Public Library is another place.
I haven't been to a laundromat
So
in a long
yes,
time.
they have some Dayton Industrials in there and all sorts of
All right, some Colossal Radio news really quick. Don't forget to get your tickets for Freedom Fest held this year up at the Orioles. Labor Day Sunday, September 1st from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. There's 4 bands playing this year. Psych, Big Bone Daddy, South Penn Dixie, and High Noon. There's going to be a Jeep and Bronco show with trophies and prizes. There's going to be local veterans there supporting their groups, and also the event benefits veterans, local fire departments, local police departments as well. And don't forget, the pre-sale ticket discount goes until June 30th. After June 30th, you have to pay full price for the ticket, so you have less than a week or so
Yeah, 6
to
days.
get your discount tickets. And don't miss the event. There's going to be food provided by the Gorge Eatery. They're going to be running the kitchen up at the Orioles, and you can find all that information and buy your tickets by going on Colossal Radio's website, colossalradio.rocks, and all the information will be there. And as you know, Doc and Kate are on vacation this week, and Ike is filling in every day from 9 a.m. to noon, and tomorrow he's doing his doubleheader with his oldies from 6 p.m. to 9. And then Uncle Kevin's on 1 p.m. to 4. And then we have Friday night retro rock music from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So that's coming up this week. So that's what's happening. And those of you that are tuning in, we will be giving away the s'mores kit shortly. So hang in there. So we spent a half hour talking about fans, and Robbie's in a polka band as well.
Correct. Actually, you know what? Are there any more prizes to give away? Because I have a great question for the folks out there. I just did inventory of all the fans that I have in my collection. I want to see who the closest person is to the number of fans that I have. And if the closest one by the end of the hour gets some sort of prize, I'll come and shake your hand or kiss you or something. I don't know. But I'll tell you by the end. But anyway, yes, I do have a polka band, as a matter of fact. Yes, I'm sorry. We can only do so much in an hour, right?
So tell us about the polka band.
Okay, so maybe I should start from the beginning. So, one great thing about, and actually it kind of ties in with the fans in that, one great thing about living the way that I have is that, first of all, I'm a 6th gen Lehigh Valley native. Both sides of my family, my grandparents and everybody, well, actually, I will say my grandparents especially, both sets, we all lived within a mile and a half of each other. So I was over at both of their homes, my maternal and paternal grandparents' homes, probably more so than I was ever at home. And I will also tell you that my mom's side is predominantly Austrian, and they're technically Welsh, but they've been here for so long that they consider themselves to be Pennsylvania Dutchies. And then my dad's side, they were south side of Bethlehem steelworkers that were Polish and Slovak. So, with that background, you have foods like kiffles, bagachels, pierogies, halupkis, all that kind of good stuff. But the biggest thing that really resonated with me was the type of music that they listened to and what they did in their spare time, both sets, which was polka music. I'll tell you what, so my mom's parents, God rest their souls, they always, every single Thursday night, watched the Jolly Joe Timmer show on RCN. And my grandmother, since she's still with us, God love her, she's 97 years old. But when she was still living at home, she's in a rest home now. But she lived by herself after my grandfather died in 1992. From 92 to 2020, I believe it was. And for all that time, she would always have the radio blasting. And what would be the station that was always on every time I would be over there. It was, of course, Sunny 1100 WGPA with Jolly Joe Timmer playing polka music. So I eventually, after a while, and going to Music Fest, and they dragged me to a lot of polka masses that were in the area. It became like that kind of thing. Whenever I would go over to my grandparents' house, it would be like a safe space for me, or I would find a lot of solace, I guess the word would be, in being over at their house. And I just looked, even as like an elementary schooler and as a middle schooler, man, why is it that this generation is like this, and I should really be doing this, and it just doesn't make sense. But I just felt more comfortable with whatever it was that my grandparents were doing, and it just kind of like blossomed into everything else that I was interested in. So polka music was a huge focal point to that, and it got to the point where I would be listening, and I was like, this. We'll fast forward to about 2013, 2014. This was when I was at Moravian College at the time, and I was going for music education. And now I just finished my 8th year as a music teacher in the Allentown School District. So while I was there, or while I was listening rather, at that time, Jolly Joe was already at Alexandria Manor. He was not in the studio. So at that time, there were 2 guys that were on the station that were doing the broadcasts. The first guy was Alex Vidrishevsky, and the other guy was Scott Carpensy. Scott Carpensy is now the IT, he works for IT for WFMZ, so like he's the behind-the-scenes guy when you watch in the morning. And Alex Vidrishevsky, he has done so much in the world of broadcasting since then, and he's back out. He did a lot of stuff out in Pittsburgh, and now he's back home in Jersey. By the way, I'm 30, Scott's 30, Alex is 37. So we're all under the age of 40, which is the stereotype about polka music and people over the age of whatever. We're all under 40, ladies and gentlemen, so there's still hope left in the world. But anyway, So what happened was I would sometimes call in, and Alex, we would be on for like a half hour at a time, and one thing led to another, and the one day, it was like right around this time, he goes, but it was like in 2013, 2014, and he goes, "Hey Robbie, what are you doing? Are you going to Music Fest at all?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm planning on doing so." And he said, "Well, stop by the tent when we're down there that first night." I said, "Okay, sure." So about maybe another week passes by, and I call in for another request, and Alex goes, "So Robbie, you're still coming down to Music Fest, right?" I said, "Yeah, sure. Yeah, you better believe it, Alex. I'll be right down there." So the following week, there was a giveaway at WGPA that Scott Carpensy was doing. And I just so happened to be in my car getting groceries for my grandmother and was about to get them back home, and I had the station on. And Scott goes, "The first person to come to this studio wins this prize package that we have here." And it was like, just rinky-dink kind of stuff that they had at the studio. But I was like, oh my God, I want to go see this, So I literally raced over there. I beat out this 95-year-old man that literally lived right behind the studio. If I waited literally a half a second, he would have gotten it. But Scott and the other guy that was there, Dickie Mindler, Timmer's nephew, they were like astounded that somebody came as quickly as they did. I drove like 3.5 miles, and it took like maybe 5 minutes to get there. City of Bethlehem Police, you didn't hear that, but anyway. So that left a big impression on them. So then I finally go down to Music Fest, and that was like maybe 3 or 4 days after that happened, and I see Alex, and he goes, "So Robbie, how would you like to work as a DJ on WGPA? I'm like, oh my God, this is like a dream come true. My grandmother was listening to this for so many years, and now she gets to listen to me on the station. It's literally like a dream come true. So I was like, oh, absolutely. So I was there. Oh my goodness. I had the time of my life. Best job I ever had. I had sponsors. I had old people that would call me up all the time. Yoshka from Whitehall, Agnes, the Slovak lady, God rest her soul. Like all these great people. There was a woman that lived in Fountain Hill, Belina. She would come in every Sunday, bake us cupcakes. She would come in and bring them to us and everything. Oh my God, it was so great. And the camaraderie with the people over the phone, and I got to learn how to work a soundboard and all that great stuff, and do all like tech and everything, and see how that was in a studio. I mean, that was great way to start out my broadcasting career per se. So one thing led to another, and that lasted for about maybe a year and a half, and then Timmer passed away, and we had to eventually sell the station off, as well as the Grove that everybody knew up in Point Phillips, which was where all the bands eventually played at. And so after that, Alex and I were talking, we were saying, all the Timmer guys that were in Timmer's polka band, they're still around, and they're still like spry, like they want to still play. So I thought, oh man, now I have this following, Alex has this following, so how about we start up a polka band? And I named it Robbie Lawrence and the Steelworkers because it's supposed to pay homage to the European immigrants of the early 20th century that all came to work at Bethlehem Steel. If you ever go down to take a drive on the south side of Bethlehem, there's the Slovak church, there's the Polish church, there's the German church, there's the Italian church, there's the Irish church. There were so many different European cultures represented at Bethlehem Steel during that time, and the biggest thing about that they all had in common, they listened to polka music in their spare time. So I figured that was a great way to pay tribute to all those people. So I'll tell you, we've performed, this is what, our 6th year doing this now. We have Joey Chuduk, who was Jolly Joe Timmer's accordion player. We have Dick Dottie on winds. Also, another great guy that we use often, his name's Dave Korch on trumpet, but the other trumpet player that we use is Steve Save. And if you ever watch the movie The Polka King on Netflix, with Jack Black in it, he is in that movie because he was in the original Jan Levon Orchestra. And like I said, if you watch that movie, it's about 95% accurate, I would say. He lived all of that. He was the one that was driving the bus. He was the one that ended up marrying Rhonda, but it was Marla in the movie. So, it's fascinating to see all of the things if you watch that Polka King movie and see it in person right before your eyes. I mean, it's really something. But the other thing, too, that's also like a dream come true is I inherited a lot of stuff that Jolly Joe Timmer had, that Walt Groller had, that Frank Ursitz had with the keynotes. He was based out of Nazareth. I think it was his son-in-law that contacted me with his stuff and his equipment. So I inherited a lot of that music, and we play. Actually, it's gotten to the point where the first year I said my goal is to get 10 gigs. Well, now we're up to about 35 gigs a year in just polkas alone. Wow. And one great venue that we play at each month is it's down in Orfield. It's known as the Boomba capital of the world. I don't know if any of you know what a Boomba is, but it's the stick that has all the auxiliary percussion instruments. My goodness, I have to do context because that could mean something else. But anyway, a boomba is a large stick with all of this auxiliary percussion on it, like tambourines, bells, all that good stuff. And people literally just whack it on the floor and they try to see how loud they can go with these boombas. And the Boomba capital of the world, per se, where you can go and see all these people perform, is at the Leather Corner Post Hotel. You got it. I didn't even have to say. You took the words right out of my mouth. We are there every third Thursday of each month from 6 to 9 p.m. And I'll tell you what, it's amazing. The place is small, but I talk with the bartenders every time we finish. And they always say to me, Robbie, we're already booked for next month. We have it's just standing room only. Wow. You have to book at least a month in advance. And just this I just played last Thursday, because it was the third Thursday. Mm-hmm. She said, somebody already booked into September to be here. Wow. So I'm like, this is great. This is amazing. So that's a little bit about the polka world with yours truly. And I'll tell you what, now I've moved from radio to TV, because now I actually host the Service Electric. I don't know if, does Lee Heighton is it Blue Ridge up here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you have Blue Ridge Cable, which is kind of sort of a part of Service Electric, you can get the Service Electric Network Polka Show. I forget what the channel number is, but if you just have plain Jane Service Electric, it's channel 550, and it's with yours truly and Mike Mittman, who is like the Larry Holmes announcer, and he is really quite the presence in the Lehigh Valley as well, and I love him. I call him TV Dad, and I'm his TV son, and we're on every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 p.m. So, yeah, actually, I should be on in about 10 minutes, but we're actually here right now talking it up. So, there you go.
All right, we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Sip a handcrafted cocktail.
So,
Delight your palate with farm-to-table
I hate
focused
this
fare.
commercial.
Make lasting memories with the ones you
I
love.
literally hate this
The Gorge Eatery is a
I
place
told
where
her to
friends
bring
and
her
loved
phone
ones
book up.
come together and enjoy scratch cooking in a unique zen
I
space.
mentioned it.
Located in the historic Hofford Mill in Wysport, you'll
How am I
find
doing,
a
okay?
Actually.
Oh, good.
Our
So,
newly redesigned event space is
When your
ideal
show
for
that
your
starts
next
in 10
special
minutes,
occasion.
is it you
Perfect
play
for bridal
music?
and baby showers,
Yes, it's all those
micro
videos
weddings,
of like
parties.
whatever Service Electric
Log on
had
to the
that they recorded at Music
hoffordmill.com
Fest
for more
over the years in the
information and
Allentown
upcoming
Fair,
events.
Right.
or things like
Do you
that.
have a weight loss resolution this year?
We come on at the beginning and at the end, and we say like who it was that performed and what to expect, and it's like maybe 5 minutes.
Dietitians, social workers, and other healthcare
Our
professionals
family
are dedicated to
tradition
helping you achieve your
on
weight
Saturday
loss
nights, if
goals
we're
through
home,
their surgical and
is we
non-surgical
watch
programs.
Lawrence Welk
Lose
Show
your weight
on
is
PBS.
your journey
And then
at
we
St.
watch
Luke's
Pennsylvania
Weight
Polka.
Management Center.
With Joe Manjack.
Yeah.
Every step of
I
the way. Visit
love Pennsylvania. I want to be on it, but I don't think they film them anymore.
There's something going on with the studio itself right now. I forget.
Right.
All right, welcome back
Oh.
to Colossal Community Podcast, and we learned a lot tonight.
Yes.
All right, the time has come. We talked about this the last show, and we had people enter pictures of them hanging out on their decks and patios and by the fire. City Bonfires, located out of Maryland, kindly donated a s'mores kit to us, and it's time to give it away. What includes is 4 candy bars, 4 graham crackers for 4 people, and marshmallows. And what makes this unique is this is your little campfire in a can, and it is food safe, and it lasts up to 6 hours, I believe. But you light this thing up, and you got your little roasting marshmallow sticks here, and you can roast your marshmallows, and you can buy your replacement cans on their website, or you can buy kits like this. They have different kits set up. You can buy a special stand for the fireplace ring, and they have lots of great products. So I'll read a brief history of the thing. two guys co-founded this during COVID when they lost their jobs, and they came up with this idea for an eco-friendly way to enjoy the warmth and charm of a bonfire. And they sold over 1 million of these products, and they were just featured on QVC. It is 100% made in the USA, and when Stock comes back from his trip, possibly going to work on more things with City Bonfires. So
Very cool.
we had 10 people enter pictures in, which again, we'll share all those pictures tonight after the show. And all 10 names are on the wheel. So
All right,
should we give it away?
let's do it.
All right, we're going to spin the wheel. There it is. And the winner is Kelly. Congratulations, Kelly. We'll get in contact with you to pick this up. And if you want to, you can go onto City Bonfires website and buy your own kit. I guess if you sign up with the email, you get 15% off your first purchase. So there you have it.
Was Kelly the dog?
Kelly is with the dog, yes.
Yay, the puppy won!
So there is the winner. There's the winning picture there. Congratulations, Kelly. We'll be in touch with you. And does anybody have any guesses on how many fans Robbie has?
Oh boy.
I have a guess.
I will give you a hint. It is the same number as the state route that runs through Hellertown.
Oh, no, he's making us think here.
I don't.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we do have a guess here. 100.
Oh.
We do have a guess here. 150.
Is that the only guess?
We have
Nope.
191.
They're coming through.
They're coming through.
All right, let's see.
Anybody else? All right, we'll wait a couple more minutes if anybody wants to post. So far we have 150 and 191. While we're waiting for more, we have other events coming up. If you're looking for something to do this weekend, June 29th down at the Riverside Bar and Grill, our good friend Pyro Joe is going to be down there lighting up the sky. There's going to be
With his boom booms.
Not Boombas. Not Boombas. They didn't make a Boomba firework yet.
And also one of the bands that are playing at Freedom Fest, Psych, will be performing down there. It is held at the Riverside Bar and Grill. Starts at 6 p.m. and you can find the information on their Facebook page. There's going to be fireworks, giant bonfire, food, and games. And Doc said he is going to be making an appearance there. I don't know, he might be wiped out from his trip, but we'll see. And then July 4th, right here in Lehighton is holding a 4th of July block party right in the park. And then at 10 p.m., LDI will be hosting fireworks. And the Doc is going to be DJing at that event as well. And we are going to start on July 8th. We're bringing back the bracket of voting. In the past, we did cereal, we did bags of chips, and we did Christmas music. So this time around, because July is National Ice Cream Month, we are going to post 16 ice creams on a bracket of flavors. And starting July 8th, you can vote on your favorite flavor. And in our next show, July 22nd, we'll announce the grand winner, champion of the ice cream flavor.
While we eat it.
So to start off the bracket, Robbie, do you have a favorite ice cream?
Like brand or flavor?
Flavor.
Oh, man, oh my goodness. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. I do love, and you know what? It's just as bizarre as I am. I do like some pistachio.
Okay, that's good though.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
All right.
You would think I would say something like vanilla, but I threw you all for a curve. There you go.
So we'll add that to the bracket and see how far Robbie's flavor gets. What's your favorite?
Tea-berry.
Tea-berry.
Tea-berry is my all-time favorite.
Oh, okay. That's more obscure than mine, so I feel good now.
Mine is gonna have to go with cookie and cream.
Oh,
Okay.
that's good too.
All right.
All
That's
right.
good too.
So there's the first three flavors on the bracket.
Right.
We'll post that on July 8th, starting up. And then August 6th, Leanne and I are headed back to Palmerton to DJ for National Night Out in the Palmerton Park. On August 6th, we'll play all your favorite music and come up and say hi to us, and we'll tell you about our show and
Yeah.
Colossal Radio.
And I'll be super, super pregnant. I'll be like ready to go pretty much by that point.
Luckily, there's an ambulance there for you.
Yeah, it better not be too hot that day. Or I'm gonna need some fans.
Oh yes, we got you covered there.
Yeah.
So that is coming up on August 6th. Like I said, we are taking a little break. Our next show would have been July 8th, but we're taking a little break to regroup and plan out the rest of the year. So our next episode will be July 22nd, and we'll see you then. But we do have other guesses. We have 150, 191, and 412.
Who said 412?
Kim Bush said 412.
That's the one, 412.
And she actually said, does he really have 412 with question marks?
I say, and you know what I say to that? The fine folks at Bethlehem Township Storage give me a fruitcake at Christmas time every year. Okay? We'll just go with
So
that.
they're not all in your house.
No, and you know what? I have 2 large units. They're like, they're 20 feet by 20 feet.
Yeah.
It takes 3.5 hours to get to the back of one. So, and those, now listen, so at home, it's the best of the best. It's like the brass from the 1800s, 1900s. And the stuff that's in the storage units are like the 50s through 80s things. I only go up to the 1980s, by the way. So, or stuff that's like projects. Because again, people will say to me like, here's a fan, I'm just gonna throw it out. And I'm like, okay. And then like, I will sell like maybe $200-300 worth of stuff, not even make a dent in the unit, and that will pay for a month's worth of fees for that unit. So everybody's like, Robbie, is it even worth having these? And yes, it is. So anyway.
So yeah, look at, we have this really old, ugly brown fan, floor fan that reminds me of that one kind of.
Okay.
Not like fancy like that. It's ugly. But I'll tell you what, it blows.
Oh, I
And that's
bet.
why we don't get rid of it, because you know, every once in a while, you need that something.
Right, yeah.
Were there any questions about like fans or polkas from the people?
No, I think you pretty much answered.
They are still in a state of shock, everybody that's watching, I'm sure.
Leanne, do you have any questions for them?
No, I'm gonna go look at the fans we have at the house now and send them some pictures.
This would have been great to do last week with the heat wave.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. But so what can I say? So the Lehigh Valley Fan Meet, or Blow Me Away 2024. The main day is Saturday. If you want to come look at venues with us, Thursday and Friday you may. And also, I would say the biggest polka performance of the year for us would be Music Fest. And that's going to be Saturday, August 10th from 12 to 3 down in Bethlehem under the Fest Plots tent. And of course, you can watch me every night on Blue Ridge with Mike Mittman on the Service Electric Polka Show, which is actually happening right now. So there you go.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I hope it was okay.
Kim wants to know what her prize is.
What?
Oh,
Kim wants to know what her prize is.
a fan!
She said bragging rights.
Well, I'll tell you what, if she comes to the fan meet, I'll give her a free fan and a hug, and if she wants a kiss too, I'll give her a peck on the cheek. So there you go.
We'll have to come up with a prize for her, because she did guess that, 400.
That is true, yes.
All right.
All right,
What do you think, Leanne?
it's hot in here.
You saw 412.
I will turn this on
We need to
for
plug
you
that
when
in
we
right
leave,
now.
yes.
All right, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. All these videos are posted on our YouTube channel, and we will be working on other videos upcoming in the future. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you all July 22nd, but make sure you download the free Colossal Radio app and listen to Colossal Radio 7 days a week. And like I said, Ike will be filling in for Doc and Kate this week from 9 a.m. to 12. And then Uncle Kevin will help you with your work day from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. And Ike's Oldie Show is tomorrow night from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So until then, see you all next time.